Hi, my beautiful friends. How are y'all? Welcome to my channel, Tropical Empress in Spirit. My name is Amanda. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. Today I wanted to bring up a topic that I'm picking up from a video I made about precognition. And this is the rest of that story where clairvoyance and clairaliance and clairsentience comes into the picture. I was going through and talking about in my last video about the warning I got about my husband and how I had to take him to the hospital. So, and this was after he had been admitted. They put him in ICU and allowed me to stay the night with him. And I noticed the first night we were there after he had been admitted, I kept hearing this whining noise in his room. But I couldn't tell you what that noise was or what the cause of it was, but I kept hearing it. And I'm looking around the room and, but I don't see anything, I can't figure out what it is that's causing it. And I even said to my husband, it's like, what the hell's that noise? He's like, what noise? I'm like, you don't hear that whining noise? He's like, no, I don't hear anything other than the TV and, the, breathing machine they had set up for him for its auction because he had pneumonia too. And it's like, okay, well, I know I keep hearing something, but I don't know what it is. And it was a noise that it wasn't constant, but it would happen like intermittently. And so I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what it is, but, I was trying to tune it out. Well, later that night, I hear it again. And I'm like, there's that noise again. What the hell's causing that noise? And after I'd said that, the noise had stopped. And of course, my husband didn't hear it. He had no idea what I was talking about. And I'm just getting annoyed. I'm a little frustrated at this point. I mean, obviously I'm tired. My head's just been blown, the warning I got about my husband and just knowing how close it was that, he could have died. But so, I'm trying to tune it out, and I'm trying to go to sleep um and I keep like dozing in and out of it, but every now and then I would still hear this noise, and so it'd wake me up. And so probably like later in the morning I hear the noise again. And the nurse had just been in my husband's room to check on him. And so as soon as she walked out, I heard the noise. I'm like, what is causing that noise, And I didn't even think of asking, like, the nurse or anyone else, I didn't know if they would even be able to hear it or would even know. It's like, I know I hear something, but would anyone else hear it? If my husband's not even hearing it, how can I explain it to anyone else? But I know it's not my imagination either. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just sit here and wait for the noise to happen again and just see if I could figure it out, And of course, not that long after that, the noise happens again. And so I'm like, okay, I've had enough, So I get up and I'm looking around the room just trying to figure out, pinpoint what's causing that noise, but still couldn't figure it out. And some time had passed after the noise had stopped, and one of the techs had walked in to draw some blood from my husband and left, and I noticed the noise happen again. And suddenly I look in front of me and I see a paper towel drop from above the sink. And I'm like, okay, well, that's weird. So I get up, and look at it, and, because it's like, well, nobody walked over there to get a paper towel, so it was weird that that paper towel just suddenly dropped out of the container out of the blue, And so I walk over there, and sure enough, as soon as I got in front of it, another paper towel dropped, and then I heard the noise. I'm like, okay, this is this possibly what's causing that noise? So I sit there and I do this because I think I realized at that point that the paper towel dispenser is motion activated. And sure enough, as soon as I moved my hand like this, another paper towel dropped and I heard the noise. I'm like, okay, well, there's the noise. Okay, now I understand. And so I told my husband, it's like, it's a stupid paper towel dispenser. It's motion activated. But then I sat there after I figured out what it was. I went and sat in the recliner. And I'm like, but when I've heard it go off, nobody was in his room or anywhere near the paper towel dispenser. So I'm confused as to why it just keeps going off by itself, And I told my husband that. I said, okay, well, this paper towel dispenser seems to be going off by itself and nobody's near it. And so he's like, well, maybe we've got a ghost in my room. And we both laughed. And I'm like, yeah, maybe, I didn't know. So some time had passed again, and out of the blue, paper towel drops. I hear the noise. Nobody's in his room. Nobody had even walked into his room, and my husband's laying in the bed, and I'm still sitting in the recliner, so neither one of us could have caused it to go off, and nobody else had entered his room. So I'm looking at my husband, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, we got a ghost here, but I mean, I don't know who it is. And he's like, well, maybe it was just a patient who died recently, we are in the hospital after all. It's like, yeah, maybe you're right, and I just blew it off, and then not even long after that, my husband had mentioned that he felt like someone had touched him on his arm. And I'm like, okay, I got a feeling. And I'm like, okay, well, it's not a person that died in this hospital. I said, it's your mama. And he looked at me, he was like, nah, it's not mom. I said, oh, yes, it is. I'm telling you, it's your mom. She's coming by to check up on you. I said, and that's why you feel like you just been touched. I said, and her setting off this paper towel dispenser, I said, that'd be something she would do. Because, as you know, and as I know, she was the type of person who liked to jump out of closets and scare people, and she was all about Halloween and horror movies, and yeah, that would be her personality, to try and scare one of us, on the other side, just, being mischievous, but, I think she was also doing it to get our attention, let us know she was there, and it's like, no, it's not mom, it's got to be another spirit here that, died in the hospital. It's like, no, it's your mom. I'm telling you, it's your mom, My husband didn't believe me. Well, the next day, I was sitting in a recliner, in his room, and we're watching TV, and I see this big, huge, bright gold orb about the size of a baseball come up right in front of my face. It just appeared, and it blocked my left eye. So I couldn't even see in front of me. All I could see was this big gold orb, to where I couldn't even see through the orb. And I'm like, what the hell? Because nothing like that's ever happened to me before. I've had orbs get close to me, but not, block my view, from one of my eyes. And my husband's like, what is it? I said, I have this big, huge gold orb right in front of my eye, to where I can't see in front of me. I said, all I can do is turn my head to look at you this way, or turn my head this way to look that way. But I can't see in front of me out of my left eye, because this big gold orb is blocking it. And the light from it was so bright that you would make you think of, like, a doctor taking a flashlight and flashing in your eyes to check your pupils. It was brighter than that, but it didn't hurt my eye. And I just sat there, I'm like, okay. And I looked at my husband again, and I said, this is your mama. I'm telling you, it's your mom. And my husband's like, no, it's not mom. It's just another spirit coming to check you out. And I'm like, no, it's your mom. I know it's her. I said, I can't explain how I know it's your mom, but it's your mom. My husband still didn't believe me, didn't want to believe it was her. He thought it had to be another spirit that died in the hospital. And so I'm like, okay, mom, and I'm talking to her quietly. I'm like, I know this is you, I know it's you that set off that paper towel dispenser. I said, I know it's you causing this gold orb in front of me for me to see you. I said, but your son doesn't believe it's you. I said, so you need to do something else here to convince your son this is you. Because it's not me you need to convince, it's him. He doesn't want to believe it. He's not listening to me. I said, so give me another sign that will prove to him once and for all that this is you, as I know it's you, you know. And it wasn't long after the orb disappeared. So, well, it came to, I think it was like the 4th day after my husband been in the hospital, you know, 4 days. And at that point, you know, I was starving because I had because I was afraid to leave his side. I wouldn't leave his bed, you know, I wouldn't leave the hospital to go get me anything to eat, let alone go, you know, home to sleep or take a shower. So I told him, I'm like, you know, look, it's been, you know, 4 days now. I need a shower and I need to try and find something to eat, you know. And at that point, I felt he was stable enough that I could leave him and not worry. So he was like, yeah, that's fine, baby. Go home and, you know, get some rest. And, you know, I'll be all right. And it's like, well, I'm just going home, get a shower and change my clothes. I'll be back. And it's like, okay. So I go home, get in the shower and, you know, get out, get dressed. And I'm sitting downstairs on the couch in the living room. And I'm just kind of like putting my legs up for a minute, you can say, just, you know, trying to, you know, relax and, you know, catch my breath and everything. And suddenly, a bright gold orb appears in front of me again. Only this time it wasn't right in front of my eye, but it was this close. You know, like you're thinking about 5, 6 inches in front of my face. And I'm looking at it and it's like, okay, Mom, I know this is you. I said, but your son still ain't gonna believe it's you. So there's something else you gotta show me or do to convince him this is you. Because he's still not gonna believe this is you. And the orb disappeared. So then I get back to the hospital. Well, before I go up to my husband's room, I decided to go in the cafeteria and find something to eat. And I figured I'd pick something up and then I would bring it to his room and sit there in the chair and eat it. So I'm sitting there and I'm eating. I got a chicken salad sandwich and something else. It might have been a salad or something to go with it. So I'm sitting there and I'm eating. And of course, part of the chicken salad fell out of the bread. And part of it landed in my plate. But the other part of it was like smeared all over my face. And as soon as that happened, the paper towel dispenser goes off. And I'm just in the laughing. My husband's laughing too. And he's like, well, I guess the spirit wants to offer you a napkin for you to wipe your face. Like, I guess so, you know. And I'm laughing. I'm like, yeah, that'd be something Mom would do, you know. And so I told my husband what had happened at home. And, you know, he's like, yeah, maybe it's Mom. But he wasn't convinced. But then he even did tell me that, you know, while I was gone, he did hear the paper towel dispenser go off by itself once or twice. And I said, I'm telling you, that's your mom. She's trying to get your attention to let you know she's here. And he still didn't want to believe it. I'm like, okay, whatever, you know. There was nothing else I could say or do at that point to convince him that I knew it was his mother. So by the 5th or 6th day, I think it was, the hospital said that my husband was stable and well enough to be released from the hospital to go home. I said, okay. So we go home and I get him in the house, get him situated. And I told him that there was something I wanted to show him, but it was on our computer upstairs. So I had to go upstairs and grab it. And he's like, okay, well, go get it, you know. I'm just going to sit right here. It's not like I'm going anywhere. And I just kind of laughed. I said, yeah, I guess you're right. So I go upstairs and to grab the computer. And as soon as I entered the bedroom, I'm hit with this overwhelming, powerful scent that I recognize, that I know immediately, the scent. And it's from a candle company that I buy a lot of my scented candles from. For all my candle lovers out there, you may know it, you may not, I don't know. It's called Yankee Candle. And the scent I smelled is called tropical vanilla. And this is a scent that I love, and it's also the scent my mother-in-law loved. In fact, I would go through and I would buy her the jar candles that had the lids, and I would give them to her for like birthday, Christmas, Mother's Day, that type of thing. So I knew, she loved this scent, and she's the only one that could have caused that scent. I said, because there's nobody else that's gone that knows that scent that I'm aware of, that I have a direct link to. I said, so this is her showing me and trying to, confirm that, yes, it's been her all along at the hospital and the big orb. And so I told her, thank you for, giving me that sign and confirmation that it's her. And so then I called my husband and asked him to come upstairs. And so he comes upstairs, but by the time he made it upstairs to the bedroom, the scent was gone. And I told him, I said, you're not going to believe this. He's like, what? I said, your mom was here. I said, I think she's still here now. I said, she just gave me confirmation that it's her, that at the hospital. I said, because as soon as I entered our bedroom, I was hit with the scent of tropical vanilla. And I said, and your mom loved that scent as much as I do. And I said, and I don't have any candles out in our bedroom open to where it would cause that scent. Plus, it's not like I still smell the scent right now. The scent's gone. So if it was being caused by one of the candles I have, then why is it that I don't still smell it? But if you look around the room, I don't have any of those candles set out anywhere. In fact, they're all, sealed away in the closet, and they're all in jars. So it's not going to cause it from our closet, that's back behind our bathroom into our bedroom, and he was like, yeah, you're right. Okay. Yeah, I believe you now that it's mom. So he started talking to her and telling her, thank you for stopping by, and, he loves and misses her, and thank you for coming and checking up on him. And so that was nice. And it was a nice confirmation, it was something that, I knew he needed in order to believe it was her. And so she knew exactly what to do to make him believe, even though he didn't smell the scent. But he trusted me at that point to know that I smelled it, and just the fact that it disappeared all of a sudden. So it was just a nice little reminder, a nice little visit, and one that I know, made my husband feel good, for him to know that his mom was around and keeping her eye on him. And I also, even though I didn't tell my husband this, I didn't tell him, about the warning I got before he had went to the hospital. But I told, I sat there and thought about it, and it's like, it was her who came and warned me that night to not go to sleep. That, her son, was really sick, and he was going to die if, he didn't go to the hospital. So I felt that she was the one who came to me to warn me. And so I was very thankful for that too. And I told her thank you, and, for warning me, because otherwise, like I said in my other video, I would have just gone straight to bed and would have never thought of it. Never thought that anything could possibly be wrong, with him, because he was fine when I saw him last downstairs in the living room. So, but it's something that, I'm very thankful for. I'm very thankful for the visits I get, and for all the confirmations that my loved ones give to me to let me know specifically it's them and it's not just a random person, and so that's one of those times that, that happened. And, having my gift of smell, which is called Clear Alliance. There's another name for it, but that's one of the names for it. It's known as clear smelling, to where you smell things that people often call phantom scents. It's like, you can smell something in your environment, but there's no direct source to cause that scent for the reason why you smell it. So that's, one of those psychic abilities that some of us have, to where we can smell things that aren't there, that's not caused by a physical source in our environment. So it was nice. And it was also nice to get the, bright gold spirit orbs, and, to have that experience, to have one get so close to my face, and then be right there in front of my eye, like, hello, I'm here, you're not going to sit there and ignore me, kind of deal. That's what I felt like. That's what my mom was saying. It's like, I'm here, hello. Plus I mess with the paper towel dispenser. It's like, yeah, that'd be something she would do. So, but that was something I wanted to share with y'all, to add to that whole experience, and, to give you the rest of the story as far as the clairvoyance and the clairalliance side of it that I got to experience through that. So I hope this story is, very warming for you, and, gives you just that peace and comfort to know that your loved ones are there, even if you don't know, even if you aren't aware, that they do check up on us. And especially when we're sick, or in the hospital, or having an operation even, they do stop by, they do come and check on us, and they're aware that, we're going through something, health-wise, or even if we're just having a bad day, they do stop by and see us. They want us to be happy. They don't want us to not feel good, or to be sad or upset about anything. They just want nothing but the best for us. They want nothing but for us to be happy, even from the other side. That's all they want. So I hope that this video has been comforting for you, and it be a reminder of that, in case you ever have any doubts that, are they still here? Do they come see me? Do they know what's going on in my life? Do they know I'm going through these struggles, these battles? Yes, they do know. And they are there. So don't hesitate to talk to them and tell them what you're thinking and feeling. And, just talk to them like as if they were physically still with you. Like you could see them. Like you can see me. Just talk to them. Even if you have to pick up a picture just to have something to look at, talk to them, and they'll hear you. But always know they're always watching, and they're always around. So I hope this has been comforting for you. So I'm going to end it here, but I'll share more videos in the future on more experiences that I've had of things like this, to, be that reminder and let you know you're never alone. So until then, I'm wishing you much love, much happiness, many blessings, great health, great joy, and prosperity, and all the beautiful blessings we all want and deserve in this life, because we're all deserving, and that includes you, beautiful. Until next time, be good.